Welcome to Bible Capsules with Calvary Church of the Nazarene. My name is Anita Rodríguez. I'm going to be talking to you about Abigail. Abigail is one of my favorite women in the Bible. Are you familiar with her story? It's found in 1 Samuel 25. In the first two verses, we're introduced to our characters. David, who will be the next king of Israel, who is in hiding from King Saul. Nabal, a wealthy landowner with a mean and surly disposition, and Abigail, his wife, who the Bible says is an intelligent and beautiful woman. The story unfolds at sheep shearing time. Nabal had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats. David had been camped out in the wilderness, where Nabal's shepherds had the flocks. David's 600 men had formed a protective barrier to the shepherds and the flock. And as the feast day drew near, David sent word to Nabal asking for food for his men. Nabal replies insultingly, and David vows revenge. And a servant of Nabal speeds toward Abigail with the report of what David had requested and Nabal's insults. He implored her to do something, or everyone would perish. This is where we learn of Abigail's character, because without delay, she jumps into action. She instructs her servants to pack food and sends them on ahead, and she follows swiftly behind them. And when she meets David and his men on the road, she throws herself to the ground, bowing before him, asking him not to blame Nabal, but to blame her, to put the blame on her. And then she offers him the food and these words of wisdom. Someone is pursuing you and intends to take your life. My Lord's life is tucked safely in the place where the Lord your God protects the living, but he is flinging away your enemies like stones from a sling. When the Lord does for my Lord all the good he promised you and appoints you ruler over Israel, there will not be remorse or a troubled conscience for my Lord because of the needless bloodshed or my Lord's revenge. And when the Lord does good things for my Lord, may you remember me, your servant. David listened to Abigail's counsel, and he turned away from seeking revenge on Nabal, letting God take care of the insult. And the story in 1 Samuel goes on to tell us that Nabal had a heart attack when Abigail told him what fate had awaited him, and he died 10 days later. David, upon hearing that Abigail had been widowed, asked her to be his wife, and she accepted. When I was younger, I thought that was incredibly romantic, that God took her from being the wife of a fool to the wife of a king. But today I look at Abigail and I see what a wise and thoughtful woman she was. And she was prudent and prepared for any eventuality. She was organized and solved problems without a lot of flailing about. She did not flinch in the face of a hard task, but she did it with dispatch and humility. She had the respect of the people who worked for her, and she was able to cope and communicate with difficult people with grace and without letting it detract her from the knowledge of who she was and what she knew of the character of God or of David or her husband. God gave Abigail the task of resetting David's trajectory, of stopping him when he was bent on destruction. God gave her the words to refocus David on God himself. I recommend reading all of 1 Samuel 25 so you can get the whole story. And thank you for listening.